Remember to hit that subscribe button. And welcome back to Against the Grain Sports. Today we talking NBA championship, the Brooklyn Nets. Do the Brooklyn Nets have enough to win an NBA championship? That's what we're going to discuss today. I'm going to bring Jody Coleman to help me discuss this. Hey, Jody, man.
What's going on Against the Grain audience, man? We back talking NBA, and you want to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. Is that what you want to talk about?
I do, but I don't. But, I'm a Knicks fan, but we got to talk about what's going on. We just had James Harden go over to the Brooklyn Nets, man. They gave up a lot to get him. They already had KD and Kyrie. We really don't know what's going on with Kyrie, man. Sometimes he want to play, sometimes he don't want to play. But what I did notice is it's already James Harden's team.
I think that with Brooklyn having three-headed monster, and this is an actual big three. This is the big three, like the Celtics big three, like the Miami Heat big three.
Mm-hmm.
It's on that caliber of big three. You have two former MVPs, and you have another All-Star, Kyrie Irving. But this is why I think, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you on Against the Grain Sports that I think Brooklyn has a very good shot at winning the championship.
I mean, on paper, on paper we got KD, James Harden, Kyrie Irving,
right,
and then we got a supporting cast.
Let's not just say it's, because you got DeAndre Jordan, who is the guy that can really be the glue. Defensively, they struggle defensively, but we know that DeAndre Jordan is a good defense player. He's a good rebounder.
Well, there's a rumor,
and
and there's a rumor out there that they're looking to add Andre Drummond and try to solidify that front court. We don't know if that's going to happen or not, but you lose 2 games back to back to the Cleveland Cavaliers,
okay.
And then you struggle to beat the Atlanta Hawks.
Do you remember back when LeBron James went to Miami Heat and they had lost a lot of games early on that season? Everybody panicked, but then they went to 4 straight NBA Finals
and only won 2 though.
I mean, 2 out of 4 ain't a bad deal. We got to look at it from this perspective. We understand that Kyrie has an ego problem. We understand that James Harden has an ego problem, and we understand that KD has an ego problem. So the job is going to be to mesh these 3 guys. But the good thing about it is that talent is going to take them over, because when you get to the playoffs, what happens in the playoffs? The rotation shrinks.
They do.
And you need somebody that can play half-court basketball, and all 3 of those guys can play half-court basketball.
And you know what I saw against the Atlanta Hawks? This is what I saw towards the end of the game. I saw James Harden running the point, right?
Right.
And he was the first option, and if he missed and they got the rebound, then he kind of, summoned Kyrie to kind of finish the playoff. Or they would kick it out to KD to make that shot. It's kind of funny to see that when you know that these 3 guys have always been the guys that finish off every play for every team they've been on.
Well, we gotta look at it. All of those guys have been second tier to somebody on their team. Steph Curry was the first option in Golden State. Let's go ahead and call it what it is. Of course, Kyrie Irving played with LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
And then James Harden played with KD as well as Westbrook at the time where he was the 6th man of the year. So they all have to swallow their egos, and I think they have to play a little bit of defense. They only got to play a lot. They just got to start. This is crazy. If they can hold teams to at least 115 points, they got a chance to win.
But they got Joe Harris buying into playing good defense, and he was a shooter. He's almost like Klay Thompson right now.
And he's going to be a key. Like I said, I mentioned DeAndre Jordan. Those guys are the guys that can be glue guys to an organization. Right now, the only problem I see is Steve Nash. Steve Nash, I don't think he has the pedigree to coach these three superstars.
Why not? Steve Nash, I mean, he's been a premier point guard in the league where he's played with talent that he's had to manage, as a point guard on the floor.
And guess what? He never played defense when he played.
No,
so his play is reflecting of his coaching. So you ask the question, can Brooklyn win a championship? And I say yes. But who are the guys or the teams that can be oppositions to it in the Eastern Conference? I don't think Milwaukee can beat them.
I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna say they can't win it. I think that LA is still, I think the Lakers are still the favorites to win it. I just don't see those guys stopping LeBron and AD
But
in a 7-game series.
I don't see them stopping James Harden or Kevin Durant. We got to understand Kevin Durant is coming off an injury, and every game you can see that he's getting stronger. James Harden's not even in shape right now.
Okay, that's cool, but I believe that if LeBron James locks on to James Harden and Anthony Davis can lock on to KD, I think Kyrie can't. I'm still not convinced that Kyrie can win it by himself.
He don't have. What do you mean? He's not trying to win by himself. You just said it. He has Kevin Durant and he has James Harden. He don't have to do it by himself anymore. But guess what? He's going to have times where he can pat the ball. We know that he can create his own shot. We know that he can go for 50. All three of those guys can go for 50 any night. So even when you have two of those guys having a bad night, you can still win if Kevin Durant is hitting 35. Because you still have Harris. You still got a couple guys off the bench.
But these guys, they're not going to stop anybody on the Lakers team. They're not going to stop AD. They're not going to stop LeBron. And then the Lakers got all those. They got role players. They got Montrezl Harrell. I mean, I don't see the Brooklyn Nets beating the Los Angeles Lakers in the 7 games. I just don't see it.
I think, and like I said, I'm going to go against the grain. I think they will. I think that they're going to figure it out. I know sometimes they're like, it's not enough basketballs in Brooklyn, but they will figure it out. I believe that they have an opportunity to figure it out because KD, this is a perfect situation for KD because he's considered as the best player, but he doesn't have to be the vocal leader. He went and got a Kyrie Irving and a James Harden that can speak for him. He just wants to lay back and play basketball. We know when he's at the top of his game, if he's not the best player, he's the second, third best player. You know, you got Kawhi Leonard and you got LeBron James. But he's up there with those two guys. I just think that Brooklyn's going to get it, and they're going to get it right. It's January, man.
We could go back and forth, but I think one of the other real questions is that if they do win it, is this a memorable championship? Is this a valid championship? Does this championship hold value if the Brooklyn Nets win it this year?
Absolutely, and I'm going to tell you why. Because first and foremost, you said it at the beginning, they had to trade a lot to get this. So it's not like they went and got somebody free. Like, no disrespect to the Lakers, but LeBron James came as a free agent. They didn't have to give anything up to get him. You understand what I'm saying? I know that Kevin Durant and Kyrie came over as free agents, but that wasn't going to be enough to beat LeBron James and AD. Let's keep it real. They had to add James Harden. So when they add James Harden into the mix, it's not going to be tainted because James Harden don't have a championship.
He don't. Not at all.
And Kevin Durant wouldn't have a championship. He didn't go with Steph Curry, and Kyrie wouldn't have one if he went with LeBron James. So I think it's definitely going to be some validity to this championship. And if KD wins, that's his third championship. And that puts him one championship behind LeBron James.
Well, there you have it. It's against the grain sports. Hey, Jody thinks that the Brooklyn Nets can win it. I don't think so. We just going to have to see. One of these teams might not even make it. You know, the NBA is crazy right now. Anything can happen.